So today I'm going to make a DIY filter for my old chip collector. This is my old Triton dust collection bucket before I got the chip extractor actually, and it fits in here perfectly, but I'm trying to think how I can incorporate it into the actual design. But the problem is, by adding this on, all I'm doing is creating a chimney. I'm trying to keep this as low profile as possible. So I need to go from a round hole and over to a square filter, and I want to do that as minimally as possible. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a square surround for the filters and then attach it to the top of this, obviously with an opening. This is the, I guess you can call it a converter. It's going into the chip collector. It'll drop into the chip collector. It's got a kind of a sponge lining around it with some duct tape, and that'll hopefully then wedge into the chip collector. I will have to adapt this ring to fit on the back of that. I think I'm just going to use maybe some sort of adhesive, some really strong adhesive. It will need holes around there. It's going to need holes through here, because what's going to happen is I'm going to have an updraft from the dust collector pushing up, and that's going to sit on there like so. So it's going to need holes there, because then my filters are going to sit inside here, and then the lid, which has a sponge lining around. So at this point the lid didn't feel solid enough to me, so I took off the foam and I added a frame to it. Luckily I had some offcuts lying around which were perfect for it, and by doing that, by adding the frame, that lid finished nice and flush on top, as well as giving a void between the lid and the filter so the air could disperse more evenly. And also, if the lid was trying to lift off because of the updraft, I could always add some screws to the sides of the walls to hold the lid in place. So you might be wondering why I don't just buy a drum filter for this. Well, I suppose I could, but at £150 or $200, it's not a necessity. And besides, I've got a lot of these filters left over from when I made my DIY air scrubber, and I've had to take it down because I put in new lighting and they're just getting in the way. So I've got about 10 filters left over, and it just seemed like a fun exercise to see if I could make my own filter for this instead of buy one. Once all those filters have been used, I plan to modify this again and add a 100mm pipe and take it either out the wall, out the door, or out the floor. I'm not sure yet. So this was an exciting project, and not only have I managed to repurpose my filters, but I've managed to recycle my old Titan dust separator and make a dent in my big wood pile. But not just that, I've also managed to improve the air in my workshop, hopefully, and I've reduced the size of my wood chip extractor, which in my small workshop is quite satisfying. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.